years ago, this image was taken. President Obama and senior officials watch as elite US soldiers raid the compound of Osama bin Laden in Pakistan. 2 years ago to this day, within moments, the al-Qaeda chief was dead. We are marking the anniversary. It's a definitive moment, of course, of 2011, at the culmination of a hunt for the world's most wanted man. It's a search that has now been documented in a new film, Manhunt, premiered at the Sundance Film Festival earlier this year. And that's where I caught up with the director, Greg Barker, and former CIA agent, Marty Martin.
I think the making of this film, for me, provided a lot of answers about how the hunt for bin Laden wasn't just the raid on Abbottabad or even the efforts after 9/11. The CIA was tracking bin Laden in some form from the early 90s onwards. And what our film does is tells the story of a core group of people, a lot of whom were women, who began tracking al-Qaeda and bin Laden in the early 90s, and as a continuity of that group all the way through 9/11, up through Abbottabad.
There were just warning after warning. We knew something huge was going to happen.
The film looks at who was accountable for failing to prevent the 9/11 attacks. How would you describe the blame game that your film documents?
I think if you really look at the whole blame of what happened, it was an institutional blame across Washington. I mean, the military wasn't prepared to go after bin Laden in any meaningful way. The president wasn't prepared. The whole national security apparatus wasn't prepared for this. And it took the shock of 9/11 to shift that point of view. But what we try to do in the film is to say, look, the individuals who were warning against about an impending attack were the ones who were then blamed for it. And sure, maybe there may have been some mistakes made along the way, but the fact is they saw this threat coming and were warning national leaders. And it's really the responsibility of the national leaders to listen to those warnings.
We were trying to keep track of all the threads of various threats, and the language being used by these guys was like, oh my God, what are they going to do?
What do you think will shock people, Marty, about this documentary?
I don't think they'll be shocked. I think they'll be intrigued and interested and hopefully educated that, secret things are not necessarily a bad thing.
You defend the use of coercive interrogation techniques like waterboarding, for example, that were being used during this time. I think people might be shocked by that. Can you explain your defense?
My defense is probably just based, honestly, more on the results of the innocent lives that I know are walking around today, alive, women and children, innocent folks that are enjoying their daily lives, because I know those techniques obviously are controversial, but they were effective. That whole program at large was effective.
This is on our shoulders.
You definitely need to know your moral center.
My job is to kill al-Qaeda. Either get with us or get out of our way.
Having completed this film, Greg, how would you describe what you've learned about the threat from al-Qaeda today?
Well, I think it's evolving. I think it's, and clearly al-Qaeda today is a much different organization than it was after 9/11. I mean, it's been in many ways dismantled, and we tell that story in the film. The ideology is clearly still very potent in parts of the world. I think we see it shifting, and so I think, I think it's a threat, not just al-Qaeda, but Islamic fundamentalism and
Sure.
jihadism will be a threat to us for some time.